guys. So, yeah, obviously one of the big things to talk about is the reveal that the moment All for One got out of prison, and possibly even before then, that he had already foreseen Izuku leaving UA and knew the pretty much exact steps he was going to take, and just what and just the perfect plan of what he was going to do in order to counter Izuku. And you gotta kind of understand what this means. What pretty much all of what happened in this chapter means. Like what this chapter is basically telling us is the very moment Izuku had chosen to pretty much go on his own, he had already stepped into All for One's trap. This pretty much battle is just Izuku springing that trap. But the worst part is that this is honestly so in character for All for One that it's one of those things that makes you realize even if Izuku ended up making the choice that he did and had chosen to stay at UA, All for One would have still had a trap set and ready to go for Izuku. Like the moment All for One got released from prison, Izuku was already boxed in, whether he was at UA or not. It was inevitable that some kind of trap or some kind of plan would have been All for One would have sprung into action. He would have sprung a trap, already had a plan set up, ready to go. Like when you really get down to the bare bones of it, the only thing Izuku succeeded in doing was reducing the possible casualties from such a trap. He had prevented his friends, his teachers, everyone, his mother from just getting caught in whatever destruction would have been caused by pretty much All for One in the moment. Like All for One had the very moment the entire time that All for One was entrapped in Tartarus, he had probably already conceived thousands, if not millions, of scenarios the entire time he was locked up. And granted, while it does make him come across as inconceivably cunning and impossible to match, it's just one of those things where we've basically seen what kind of a character All for One is. Like he always thinks like 10, 15 steps ahead of everyone else, and this is just the culmination of that. Like this is him putting every single conceivable plan he's ever thought of. This is him just putting one of many conceivable plans into action. And it also, and now obviously one of the questions that's going to come up about this is if All for One had pretty much conceived all this even before getting out of prison, then why didn't he pretty much send Nagant or pretty much anyone after Izuku the pretty much moment he had gone on his own. And in order to and honestly, the answer to that is pretty simple. All for One is just pretty much loves toying with his food. He loves toying with people. He loves playing with his food. He loves toying with people. All for One, I think he conceivably he wanted to get Izuku to a certain point where he'd pretty much lower his guard even just ever so slightly, and to a point where when the pretty much trap was finally sprung, Izuku would realize the entire time he thought that he and his group were searching for All for One. All for One was the one who had already found them and was actually monitoring them. So it's like it's a whole pretty much reverse psychology thing where he was just playing with their expectations, saying, yeah, you pretty much thought you were searching for me. I already know exactly where you are. I'm going to enjoy relishing in your pain. Now getting into the battle getting into the whole battle itself of Izuku versus Nagant itself. One thing I like, at least so far, about this setup is how even after being told to be wary of her by Hawks, the only thing that's really kept Izuku alive to this point is the Force quirk combined with his knowledge of what he knows about Snipe, when it comes to Snipe and his abilities, and using that knowledge as a baseline for how to approach the battle. But from here, it's all left up to chance as to which one of them ends up being more precise. But honestly, this is definitely one of the, again, I think I've said this before last week, but this is one of those scenarios where I'm kind of hoping even more so now that Hawks, Endeavor, or just anyone arrives in order to back him up, because this whole battle honestly is this whole scenario is a battle that I just cannot I just cannot conceivably see Izuku winning without help. Like if he does, I'm not gonna lie, I might have a bit of a problem with it, especially with how Nagant's quirk has been built up as a more precise version of Snipe's ability. It's one of those where you almost need more than pretty much one person in order to overcome this, and even more so now that person Nagant has been gifted the power of levitation, but by pretty much All For One. So yeah, as far as the setup, I'm really liking it, but someone right now really needs to come in and kind of help Izuku out here, because Nagant, as was established, is a professional sniper, and I don't know if it was really told this, but I almost kind of wonder if Promotion Nagant at one point in her career was pretty much like a sidekick to Snipe or something. Like that's something I kind of really want to explore. Like the fact that pretty much Snipe even knows for as well as he did. I really like their kind of they're just different relationship and rapport explored more, because yeah, it does sound like that Snipe like knows her pretty personally. So yeah, I would really like to know as to what the relationship is there. Um, but yeah, just if she is Snipes, I don't. With that said, though, let's talk about something I'm actually kind of worried about, and it's something I really 100% do not want to see happen whatsoever in any form, which is that with the pretty much setup of Izuku having yet to learn what happened to All Might, and the fact that we still haven't seen what the second and third's quirks are capable of yet. There's a little bit of an idea like that's been circling around the My Hero Academia grapevine that one of the last two quirks could possibly be like time related or time reversal related, and I really don't want this to happen on so many levels, because Izuku as a character at this point already gets enough flack as it is for having plot armor, which fairly so that there isn't a lot more than a bit of criticism to say about that. But this is going to open the floodgates, the floodgates for that criticism. Even those that like the series, if like the series I think are gonna have a real problem with this if it is time reversal related, and it ends up like, and Izuku ends up using it in order to save All Might. So if Horikoshi intends in order for All Might to survive what happened, I'm hoping it's by some other means over time travel. And actually, in some ways, if All Might does survive, I want Izuku in order to kind of have like nothing to do with it. Period. Like I'm hoping like with when All Might's car exploded, like someone else like kind of jumped in at the very last, managed to swoop in at the very last minute and save him, which would also which would not only be like kind of a much better way of saving All Might, but it would also connect pretty well back to someone coming in order to aid Izuku against Nagant. But yeah, overall, I'm kind of just hoping that when Izuku does use the second or third quirks, neither are gonna be what the rumors say, and it is Izuku who does save all, who basically, even if Izuku does save All Might, then at the very least I'd settle for like a healing quirk, something akin to recovery girl or something. But if it's time related, you're gonna hear me call it out. I don't care what kind of limitation Horikoshi puts on it. I need to call that shit out. It isn't gonna work for me. I do want to take a brief moment to talk about the flashback where All For One enlists Nagant's aid, because as we see like overhaul is there with her. Uh, but my question is, where exactly is Overhaul now? Because as shown in that flashback, he's obviously been traumatized from the last encounter with Shigaraki. But just where is he now? Because I don't think Horikoshi would have even bothered to draw attention to him if there wasn't some kind of a reason for it. I mean, he as we see, he does keep the one thing he does keep saying is is that he needs to get to the boss. So he's obviously trying to return to Aries' grandfather. The only thing, but just for what reason does he want to return to him? And like the only other than to just kind of sit by his bedside. The only thing I can think of is that Horikoshi is setting it up where when Overhaul reached it is that during the entire time he was like locked up, I think Overhaul had reached some kind of manner of clarity, and he is and he's gonna once again try in order to gather together as many of the Furushi Haisekai as he can, but there's almost this feeling that the reason why he's gonna do it this time is with the intent of trying to oppose All for One and Shigaraki, because just from the way like if you look at how Overhaul's current like demeanor, he seems to have reached some state of clarity where he's realized the true purpose of the organization was to pretty much protect those who need it rather than pretty much try and pretty much like destroy society kind of thing. So I think overall has like a lot more of good intentions now with what he intends to do, but well, again, I don't know what exactly he's planning right now. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications, and share this around. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.